Good evening. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? I look, y'all see this big old smile on my face. Yes, I'm showing all of these teeth that, yeah, I got braces a long time ago. So, how y'all doing? I am super excited. I'm real giddy because of the special guest that I have today. You know how you always have a certain person that you kind of admire, and you say, "Man, I kind of want to model myself," after that person. And so you have your Michelle Obama, Michelle Obamas, and your Oprah Winfrey's, um, but I have a Roxanne Watson. Okay, and she is from New York. Y'all know I'm gonna try to put my New York accent out. I might not do it right, but I'm gonna try to do it anytime I have somebody from New York and I say it like that. All right, guys, listen. I hope you all are watching. Please say hello. Please let me know where you from in the comments. Drop a hello. If you are an organ donor, please put a blue heart or a green heart in the comments. And again, I thank you all for being lifesavers. I have a little bit of updated news. First, I just want to make sure that everyone remembers that if you would like to be an organ donor, I'm sorry, you are here in Florida, did the wrong one, that you're here in Florida, you can go to donatelifeflorida.org and click on your name, all your information, and then at the very bottom, please click on how did you learn about us and click other and save 1,000 lives. And remember, this is always the legacy of my late husband, Leonard Wayne Larimore, who was waiting to receive a heart and a kidney, and he passed away in 2018. So I am grateful that I had another guest, Miss Warner, encourage me to reach out to Donate Life America. So I sent an email and I spoke to some people about actually having Donate Life America and Save 1,000 Lives be on their registry. That is one of my goals for 2021. I'm going to go 2011, 2021. So hopefully, when all is together, because the person is on vacation. So once we're able to, I guess, meet up, then we'll find out sometime in 2021 next year. Say 1,000 lives will be a part of the National Registry. And then all of you that are watching here, there, and everywhere can be a part and you can sign up as well. Okay. So, one more thing, two more things really. I had a guest last week and you all didn't get to see him. His name is D'Angelo Crawford. On the same day he was supposed to be on my show, he actually received his gift of life. So, how fantastic and exciting was that, for me to learn that he received the gift of life. And then just Tuesday, well, just the other day, Melinda received her kidney. And she was on the show. She had 5 kids and she have grandchildren and her husband. She's married. So, my goodness, I want to say thank you all. Thank you for becoming organ donors, becoming, lifesavers. So I thank you all so much. Hello, my friend Steve. Hello. How are you? And thank you for sprinkling this broadcast across the internet, guys. So uh, I was like so excited. Miss Berner, this might be a time I might cry. And I know I said there's no tears on this show, but when you finally get to meet somebody that is making a difference in people's lives, then you happy, right? You real happy. And I want you to know I called her. I wanted her to be on the telethon that we did in August. And I've tried to get her before, but when I tell you her schedule is always jam-packed and always busy. But when I reached out to her before when I first started this, she gave me her personal phone number. Like most people you would say, no, you're not ever going to hear back from them, but she always texts me back or she always replied to the email. And I said, Miss Roxanne Watson, I'm either going to end 2020 with you, or I'm going to begin 2021 with you. And so I texted her yesterday, and she said, "All right, let's do it tomorrow." I said, "Oh, okay." So I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So without any further ado, because I am just, I'm, I'm, I'm so excited about this. So I'm going to bring on a heart recipient, Miss Roxanne. Hey, Jerry. Hey, Mr. Brown. Roxanne Watson from New York. I hope I said it right.
You're a mess, girl.
Hi.
Hi. How are
Yeah.
you doing, honey?
How do you like my New York accent?
I love it. I love it.
I do okay. I did because I have a special adopted son named Miguel, and he's from New York. And when I taught him, he grown now, but he always had the biggest attitude. I'm from New York, like
Yeah, go big or go home, baby. They'll run you over.
right. And he wasn't really tall. Like we probably I'm 5'6", so he probably was a little bit taller than me. But when I tell you I love him, like I just love him. But enough about him.
Okay. Well,
Tell the
hello,
audience.
hello, 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 hello.
Yeah. Tell
You
the
guys,
audience.
you got,
Who?
you guys have to excuse me. I have to wear a mask because there's two people in my house that are sick, and my doctor's like, put the mask on and walk around. So I
Mm,
tried to close the door to close them out, but I'm not going to take any chances and
right.
make sure I have my mask on.
Absolutely. Stay safe.
Yeah,
Stay
thank
safe.
you. Thank you for having me. I am so sorry that I couldn't get to you quicker, and that's the truth. Every time I got ready to get to you, something else would happen.
Listen.
And it's like,
Listen.
okay, I'm sorry. I just, you-
Delayed but not
yeah.
denied. Hey mom, hey mom, hey Jim. Jim Meyer says hello.
Oh
Um,
yeah, my guy, my kidney guy, boy. That's the kidney man. I
yes,
sent
he
everybody to him.
yes, yes. And let me tell you, they all Steve, Jared, Jim, Jonathan, they're all doing their thing. And I definitely can't forget about yes. Yes, Jared, so much mad respect and admiration for her. Yes. Okay. Because that's how I felt. And if anybody knows me, knows that Save 1,000 Lives is my baby. And
Good.
so
That's
my
good.
goal was like 10% of your goal. Okay. Okay. Because my goal was to get 1,000 people registered. Tony, it was to get 1,000 people registered. But oh my God, when I found out about you, and it was Shirley Scott Brill,
Hmm.
with EMAC,
Yep.
now do you know, there's another lady, Roxanne Watson, and she's registered over 10,000 people. I say, what?
Almost at 12, girl. Woo.
Do you know how hot? Yes, you know. I won't even say, but
Yeah.
at least New Yorkers, I guess, a little more open, and wherever you go, you have that connection because you have the background and the story. They can see you and say, "Hey, this is my story. This is my life." And if it wasn't for your donor, then
Absolutely.
you wouldn't be here. So people could actually sympathize,
Yeah.
with you
Yeah. It
because
makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. I usually have his picture everywhere I go, but today it's not here because I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to do an event tomorrow. So you guys have to excuse me. I take that picture everywhere I go.
I love
I've
you.
been carrying
Absolutely.
that for 10 years. Definitely the reason why I'm here. Michael
Yeah.
Boville.
Well, we want to just honor him right now because I want to show everyone Michael. What's his last name?
Boville. Boville.
Bovill. I didn't
Hmm.
want to mess it up. I know it's a bowl. I want to make sure Bill. Okay. But here is the picture. I told you I did my research, Miss
You
Roxanne.
did. That's the cover of the book right there.
Yeah, so I did my research, and this was taken shortly after. Was it taken shortly after your transplant, or you just said it was for a book?
It was taken after I did Oprah.
Okay.
Michael's family gave me that picture on Oprah, and
Wow.
that picture was taken shortly after that.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. So yes, guys, listen, you can Google her. Okay. It is Googleable, and you can see all of the great things that she is doing, not just in New York, but around the country. Her
Yeah,
and her son, they are both advocates. And when I was reading, I read that your goal was to not uh, just be the person that registers organ donors, but your goal is to be the person that gets the most people registered.
absolutely. That always was my goal.
I
From,
said, wow.
from the
I,
day I met his family, the day I met his family on Oprah, I promised his mom that we would do everything we could do to make sure that his legacy was people signing up in his honor. And I ask people all the time when I sign them up in person. I sign up a lot of people online, but the ones I've
mhm,
signed up in person, I
mhm.
actually ask them to sign up in his honor. And I give his mom a report and his dad all the time to tell them how many we signed up, where we signed them up, and they've had like a running total.
Yeah. How awesome and what an honor for Michael that
Oh
you continually uh, let no one forget him.
no, you
You
can't.
don't,
It's a
you
gift of life. It's a
yeah,
gift of
yeah.
life. You can't
And
never
and
take that for granted.
when I read that he was a firefighter.
He was a firefighter in the Coast Guard.
Wow.
He's a Coast
Wow.
Guard firefighter
Wow.
and a helicopter mechanic and an EMT. Just a damn
Wow.
good kid.
Wow. And he was in his early
20,
20s,
23.
23 years old.
23. Just a baby.
Just
Just
a
getting
baby.
started.
Okay. Now, I always love to tell people that when it comes to, uh, you know, cancer, congestive heart failure, kidney failure, diabetes, it doesn't have a color. It
Nope.
does not discriminate.
No.
It doesn't discriminate. So, um,
That's what we love about Michael's story. We
right.
tell we tell Michael's story at every naturalization ceremony that we do here in Rockland County because these are people from all over the world, and that's what Michael did. He
Wow.
saved people from. We were all different backgrounds. He saved a Chinese man who was 62 with his liver. He saved a Jewish man who was 42, who got his double lungs. He had cystic fibrosis. He saved a little Hispanic girl, 5 years old at the time, who got one of his kidneys. He saved an African American boy with his other kidney, and me with the best part, his heart.
The heart. Oh my
So
goodness.
we were all ages. We started at 5 years old and we ended at 62. We were
Wow.
black, we were Spanish, we were Chinese, we were everything.
Mm,
And that's why we love telling his story because
mm,
it shows. The first time I actually met his father, that was one of the first things we had a discussion about.
mm.
He said Michael gave gifts to people from and we were all different religions too, on top of it. So,
Oh,
we were
right.
Jewish,
Very
we
much
were
that.
Catholic, we were Baptist, we were Hindu, we were everything. So this
Hmm.
is the perfect story of organ donation. A person who gave, who wanted to give, a motivated family who wanted to save others when they knew that they couldn't save him.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful story. It really is. Hmm.
I'm telling you, when I watched it, I was like, wow, just how amazing. And I said, nope, I have to do this show a little bit different and make sure that whoever is watching and watching now, just kind of knows, I get hit with a lot of backlash with um why do I need to become an organ donor?
Oh,
They're not gonna save me when
oh,
I if I go to the hospital. And I literally just heard that
I know
last
you did.
from a teenager who said her parent works in the hospital as a nurse.
Mm.
And she told her, no, don't become an organ donor. Another student told me, um, I wanted to be an organ donor. And
Mm.
when I went to the DMV to become an organ donor, my mom immediately spoke up for me and told me no.
No, see,
She
that's wrong.
told she
That's
told
wrong. It's your body, it's your choice.
right.
I
But
tell people
because
that all the time. We went to here in New York, we've passed like 6 laws in the last probably 7 years for organ donation. And
Wow.
the last one that we worked on was to allow the 16 and the 17-year-olds to make their own decision.
Okay. Okay.
So it's the law in New York now that a 16 and
Mhm.
17-year-old person can sign up.
Okay. Okay.
Now, God forbid something should happen to them before they're 18, their parents
Mhm.
still have to make that decision. But
Right.
they are given, they're allowed to, we're allowed to take their consent because of that same kind of situation.
Correct. But here in Florida, when the students are taking driver's ed, they can go to the DMV and that question is asked. Would
Yeah,
you?
most places it was like that, but not New York. It's 18. It was 18 for the longest time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we were fighting all kinds of stuff here. New York is still last in organ donation registered. And there's no reason. There's
Wow.
absolutely no reason. That's what makes my job easy in a lot of ways because I'm going to talk to people who haven't been asked.
Right.
Remember, the people in New York don't drive. Most of the people that live in the city don't drive.
Oh,
And
wow.
80 something percent of the people who sign up to be organ donors sign up at DMV. They sign up at the motor vehicle.
Okay.
So
But if they're
here's
not
3 to 6 million people in New York City that don't drive. What do you have to
mm,
drive for? You know,
oh,
the
wow.
bus stops at the corner. It goes everywhere. The
Right.
train, the subway, the Amtrak. It's so much public transportation that most people don't drive.
And so
So
that conversation is never started at home then.
exactly, they don't hear
Mm.
the conversation. Now the people in the upstate regions, they do drive. So a lot of them are the people in New York that are signed up. But a lot of people in the city are never asked because they don't drive. So,
Wow.
that's why we had to appeal to those
Wow.
people in the city. And that's where we started the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went into the high schools and then we go into the colleges, we go into the churches, we go anywhere we can go.
Right. But then here's COVID.
Oh,
You
see,
know?
and that just threw us off altogether. It
Right.
really did. We were on
It,
a roll.
right. It definitely threw, us a
Yep.
curveball as well because,
Really
you
shut
know,
everything down. Everything
yeah,
just shut down, even the
right.
transplants. So
Right.
that was tough.
But to see transplants are still happening right now, I'm so encouraged that that is actually happening. And hello again, Kimberly, and hello, classmate Danny. Thank you all for watching. Again, please make sure that you let someone know that we're on and watching. All right, if you would please make sure that you share that for us. Okay. All right. So, Miss Roxanne, I don't want the people not to know because I know we just went on a little tangent right there. But tell everybody who you are. What's your induction to this transplant world?
Well, we were always, my family, we were always organ donors, even when we were children,
Okay.
because my mother was a neurological nurse and she never believed in leaving people in comas. She would see people in comas up in the hospital for months. She never, ever believed in it. So when we were young, we were told, what organ donation was. So it was never an issue in my family about organ donors. Like my cousin Laura says all the time, there's no, if anything happens to anybody in this family, they know what the story is. They know that we're going to donate. In fact, when my brother was sick and he was almost ready to pass, a doctor called me the night that right before he passed away and said, you know what? I know it's like, I usually don't ever do this, but I had to call you to say, I want to thank your family because everybody who walked through the door to see him said, is he going to be able to donate his organs?
Wow. Wow.
Because we believe in it. We always did believe in it. So it's nothing hard for us.
Okay.
But
So
we
you
always were.
you developed and congestive heart failure runs in your family.
Oh
So
yes, all the women in my family have heart disease. That's why I'm Women Heart Champion. I'm American Heart Association advocate. I do anything that has to do with the heart because all of the women in our family have some form of heart disease. My mother had 3 heart attacks and 2 strokes, but she lived until she was 82 years old. She had a
okay.
good life,
Amen.
and she
Okay.
just sick at the end, and that was it. But
Okay.
all my aunts Everybody has heart disease, so we've always been struggling with that. So
Wow.
I wasn't surprised, but I was only because I was never sick before I suffered a silent heart attack.
The silent heart.
Yes,
I
in
read that.
2006.
Right. So I read that you thought that you maybe
Pulled
pulled
the,
a muscle or
that's
something.
it. In my back. I thought I pulled a muscle on the left side of my back. I walked around for 6 weeks like that, and the pain didn't go away. And it wasn't a bad pain. It really just felt like a muscle pull. But it was like 6 weeks, and it didn't go away. So I just went to the ER. I went to the hospital, and I went to the emergency room, and I just said, you know what? I pulled the muscle, and my side has been hurting, and I just need somebody to look at me. And they did all the tests and everything, and then three doctors came back in the room. I knew I was in trouble then.
Three. Yeah.
Oh no, here they come.
Oh wow.
Doctors
Wow.
came back in and they were like, well, you know what? You didn't pull a muscle. 6 weeks ago, you had a heart attack. So that's how I found out. And if I tell you there was almost little to no pain, it was just discomfort, and that's exactly what it was. So
Wow.
I had the heart attack, and then they put me into cardiac care. And this is in May of 2006. I had the heart attack. I went to the hospital in June of
Okay.
2006,
Okay.
and they put me in the immediate cardiac care in
Mm-hmm.
my local hospital in my area where I was. I
Okay.
stayed in I stayed in the I stayed in cardiac care for 2 years until June of 2008. And then my doctor here said, well, there's really not much more we could do for you. You have to go to the city for advanced cardiac care.
Wait a minute. You were in the hospital for 2 years?
Oh, no, not in the hospital. I was
Oh.
in cardiac care.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wasn't in the hospital,
But
thank
I said
God.
I didn't read that part. Now I know the other part where you stayed in the hospital for
104 days.
yeah, 104. I told you I did my research, Miss Roxanne. I did my research
You
because
good girl.
thank you
So
because
I stayed, like I said, in till 2008 of June. And
okay,
then I went to the city, to Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx in New York City. And they kept me in the hospital for 9 days.
okay,
They did evaluation. And then at the end of the 9 days, they told me that I was going to have to go on the transplant list.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so the you have the you actually have the transplant, and then how long were you in the hospital once you had the once you got the transplant? How long did you stay in the hospital?
Oh, I wasn't in the hospital long. The problem was waiting. I didn't go into hospital until 2010.
Oh wow.
All
Okay.
right.
So
So
4 years.
that's 4 years of
Wow. Did you
heart
get
disease.
what is it, a
Yes,
heart a
I had a
pacemaker?
defibrillator and a
Defibrillator?
pacemaker. I had both of them. One
Okay.
thing that had both devices in my chest.
Okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
then in 2010, when I went to for my appointment, she said, that's it. You're gonna have to stay in the hospital and wait because you can't stay at home. You're gonna die. And that's just the way she told me, which was cool. I was ready. I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm sick. I was 95 pounds at that point.
I read that too, that
I was 95 pounds.
you declined in weight
Oh,
because you
yeah.
were in 150s,
Yep.
and then you dropped down to the 90 plus pounds.
95. Yep. 95 pounds. And then she put me in the hospital then because I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And then she says, you're going to have to wait. But you won't have to wait that long. That's the famous
Mhm.
last words.
No. So you were there for a little while waiting.
104 days. Yep.
Wow.
I
Wow.
went in April and I got the heart in July. So I was in CCU all of that time.
Wow. Wow. So you got to meet a lot of people.
I actually got to meet all kinds of people,
Oh wow. Wow.
tons
Wow.
of people, because I was there so long.
Right.
Everybody knew when I was going to get the heart. Everybody in the hospital knew that I
Oh,
was. Yes, it was amazing. Everybody in the
I
hospital knew. I mean, like thousands of people. People were coming to visit, and my doctor was getting annoyed because everybody was coming to visit me. She's like, get these German people out of here.
Right, right, because yeah, we definitely wanted you to, be healthy or as healthy as can be,
Yeah. But
during that time in 2010. My goodness.
but
Yeah.
after I got the heart, I was out of the hospital in 9 days, girl. I was like, let me out of here. That's right.
90.
9 days I was out of the hospital, and then 9 days after that, I was back at the hospital doing my first event. Yep. That's the first time I just it was National Minority Organ Donor Week,
Right. Okay.
right? The first week of August at that
Right.
point, right? And
Right
they
now
invited
we're
me to come back. They said,
right.
come
Okay.
back and we want you to tell everybody your story. The place was packed full of people and media and all kinds of stuff. And I spoke that day and I asked people to sign up.
And
And
how many people did you register that day? Because I read that too.
20, 20. First day out, 20. I felt good. I was like, oh, I could do this. I
Yes.
could do this. And then
Right.
I just asked people, then I just started asking people to sign up. And people just started signing up everywhere.
Wow.
We had tons of media attention, obviously, because that's the way we have to go in New York. You have to get in the media, and you have to let people know what you're doing because there's so many people here doing so many different things. But I
Right.
mean, I was literally in the media like every day between the paper and the TV shows and everything. And it
Mhm.
was just because it was important to share the story, not to be on TV. You know what I
Right.
mean? People go
Right.
like, "Oh, you do a lot of media." Yeah, because that's the way you have to get the word out when you're dealing with 15 million people. That's the
Right.
best way. That's the best way to do it. So,
And that was your mission. So
yes,
there was definitely no way you could not. Um, and we don't know, especially as African Americans. My goodness, my church is well. We have church online now. We're over 10,000 people, but I've twice, just a few times, tried to get people to register, and I
mhm.
had them, register there. But man, it is really, really difficult to get people.
It
Um,
is.
yeah, to get their trust or confidence. And then once this vaccine came for COVID, I said, "Oh Lord,
Uh-huh.
now this has gone back to the 1930s with the the syphilis." And I definitely don't make light of it because people keep that memory, you know, um,
Yeah, but we
in
gotta
their
let that go. We have to let it go. We
listen,
have
they
to,
hold
or else.
on to it. They hold on tight to that. And I said, well, as much as I wish somebody would have been there to give my late husband, a heart and a kidney,
Exactly.
um,
That's what
it's
it's all about.
painful, right? It's painful, and then all the people that I have interviewed, especially from August until now, they are always they're grateful, they're delighted, they do whatever they can
That's
to
right.
also, inform people and be ambassadors, advocates for people, to know that hey, organ donation is so pertinent. If people don't understand, like when you have a country that you have over 160, well, 115,000 people, 112,000 people waiting for the gift of life, it
Waiting.
is, it's astounding. And, the way that people eat, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of those things, add up to it. And then some people with perfect health, because of family history that they don't necessarily do. They don't understand how important it is, one, to track your family history, because I kind of, preach that all the time. Know your family history, know what you're up
Right.
against to be able to
Mm-hmm.
prepare yourself, because when you know better, you do better.
That's
And
it.
I,
That's
I
it.
firmly I firmly believe that, and I still even have some family members. I'm like, hey, 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 are you an organ donor yet? Are you an organ And they are still on the fence. Like my daughters became organ donors. My parents became,
everybody in your
right.
family needs to
But
be
I
after
got
y'all went through that experience.
a big family too.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I have a huge family, and I'm just letting them know. Listen, I need you all to register and be organ donors. Y'all all over this country.
That's
So
right.
that's why Donate Life America is very important to me, because then I can say, hey, y'all can sign up under me,
Wherever you are.
and I
Right.
can, right, you can definitely become an organ donor. So it's so very important to me to be able to just convey that, because even though he never received it, I am the person that's like, well, I'm the one left here.
Right.
This is
Exactly.
what the face looks like of somebody that has to go to the grave,
Yeah.
just to go visit a person, and the number of people that have to go to the grave sites, even though, they're donor families. Um, Even my uncle, I had a aunt to pass away earlier this year suddenly on his birthday. And
Mm.
he said, listen, niece, because of you, I made her an organ donor.
Good.
And
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
I was
The
super,
first year, I'll tell you, the first year I had a heart anniversary party.
right. I
We
read
we had over 200 people showed up to this party.
Wow.
And we just told people, we had the people at that time, it was New York Organ Donor Network. We had the people on site at the party, right? And we
Right.
told everybody, you are not going to leave here today
Woo.
without signing up.
Wow.
We
Wow.
told them, you're not a donor and you don't pull out that license. You are not leaving this party today because you
Mm.
see what I went through. And I don't want nobody to go through that. And they all signed up. Everybody was at that party was an organ donor by the end of the day, just by asking.
See, I,
These are the people that love you. You know what I
right.
mean? They don't
Right.
want they don't want to see that, and they don't want to see it for their kids.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what you have to do. You have to just keep asking people. I've heard no thousands of times, but guess
Right.
what? I've heard yes a lot too.
Heard yes a lot too. So, just recently I got 2, 4, 6, 18, 20, 14, 17 people
Uh-huh.
to become organ donors.
There you go.
Just recently, 17
I
people. And
asked them.
I can't believe it. I'm so overwhelmed sometimes. Just even once I tell my story, then they say, I ought to, yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Right. I'll do it for you.
Right. And
Right?
so for me, that's the, important, that's the important thing for me, just to be able to, have that conversation, because they don't always see somebody that looks like me to say, hey, become an organ donor. So someone told me they said, because you're cute in the face, people don't expect you to say, come on, give me your organ. You creep up on people real quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you say, well, give me your organ. I remember going into like it was like a party,
Right.
or it was a gathering. It wasn't a party. It was a gathering in a place, and of course they had the drinks in there and everything. And I would look at people and say, hey, don't mess up that liver, or don't do
Good.
something to mess up that organ. I need you to keep your organs good. Drink safely if that's something that you're going.
Don't smoke at all.
Right, right. And people don't believe how very important it is for them just to say,
Absolutely.
"Hey, I'll become an organ donor." So, Miss Roxanne, I definitely appreciate you
Oh,
for
thank you.
coming on
Sure.
this little
Sure.
this little broadcast, and I know you also have a radio broadcast.
Yeah,
Um,
tomorrow morning.
oh wow, and
We'll be
she
on
just
tomorrow morning at
yeah,
WRCR.
WRCR. So guys, if you is it can people hear it, or do they have to be
Yes,
in New York?
absolutely. From anywhere in the world, actually. We have people listening from all over the world. It's on WRCR.com. It's simple. You just go on that website, WRCR.com,
Mm-hmm.
push the button that says listen, and that's it. It's free. I tell people, please don't download and all of this stuff that costs you money. It is
Okay,
free.
it is
So
free.
just go on that WRCR.com, hit the listen button, and you can listen. You can call in from anywhere. People again call in from all over the world,
Uh-huh.
and we try to concentrate on organ donors, recipients, donor families, and
Mm.
heart disease. We try to concentrate on all of that, and we almost always stay away from the doctors.
Right,
We want it to be about patients. We don't
right.
have a voice, and that show, Michael's Gifts, is the show that is the voice of the people, literally. I
Wow.
don't I don't interview people before I interview them. I just ask them to be on the show, or they want
Mm-hmm.
to be on the show to share
Uh-huh.
their stories. It's about sharing stories, and that's what
Right,
we do.
right,
Nothing
right.
more than that. And that was a dream of mine to do it. And WRCR actually found me and said, you know what, you need to do it.
You need to do it.
You need to
Right.
do it.
And guys, interestingly enough, I told you I did my research. Ms. Watson actually wanted to be an educator, before, and so she's educating, and she is an educator now, and she's educating, out
outside the classroom.
outside of the classroom. And that's what I said too. I said, well, you work inside the school, but now you need to go out into the community and teach the community, about organ donation. Because other than that, it would not be a conversation, held, especially in the multicultural community. So,
Oh yeah, well that's why I
mm,
started it. That's why I started everything, because
mm,
everybody in that hospital I was in were mostly black and Spanish, and I
mhm,
said there's got to be a reason why this is the case. And I thought at first maybe it was just the neighborhood that the hospital's in, but
mhm,
then when I found the statistics, it's not just the neighborhood the hospital's in;
mhm,
it's the
mhm.
community at
Yeah,
large.
right.
So that's why I started my mission. And
Yeah.
then we just broadened out to make sure we include people all over the world.
And before COVID, you were traveling all over the
Oh
world.
man, this thing has not, I mean, it slowed me so far that I would know I'd be up to about 13, 14,000 by now. Because I
Right,
was signing up 100 a week. So
right,
I know that I would have been there. And then I went everywhere. Every place that I was asked to go. I would Texas. I went as far away as Fiji. To 10,000 miles to share the story, to make sure people knew. We did
yes,
California, Chicago, every place. Any place
right.
we could go that people wanted to listen to the story,
Mhm.
we went. Wherever we were invited. And we were invited everywhere. We're still being invited. It's just that, now we have to do everything virtually.
Right, right, right. So, I will not hold up. I won't hold you up any longer.
Oh, thanks anyway for having me.
I definitely appreciate it. This is definitely a dream come true for me.
You
And
could
so,
do
yeah,
it.
it's a Christmas just came early for me because I definitely, it's not often you get to meet, your hero, your shero, because somebody else is doing something that inspired me to say, listen now, if she can get 10,000, I'm gonna try to get this thousand.
That's it.
Let me
That's
try
it.
to do my part.
Uh-huh. Well, all
So,
you got to do is ask, and that's what I learned along the
mhm,
way. You asked me, and I said yes, and
yeah,
I asked people, and they say yes, and that's
right,
all you have to do in this thing is ask people. Just keep asking them until they say yes. Just don't
yeah,
give up.
right. And they won't kill me, but eventually you'll get to thinking about it. And I
Yeah,
hate I hate for it just to come to your doorstep, and then you
yeah.
finally realize,
I
oh,
have a lot of people that come back to me a year later, especially since I was just in the mall. I've been in the mall every weekend for the
okay,
last month. I'll be
uh-huh,
in the mall until New Year's.
okay,
And I have people that come back that knew me in the mall last year who said,
hmm,
you know what, I signed up, or they came back and signed up this year, which is okay with me.
right, right,
Sometimes they don't want to do it right then. But the
right.
fact that they thought about it and they came back and decided to sign up with me, that's an honor to me right there.
Awesome,
That's an
awesome.
honor to me. So, we do what we got to do. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again so
You are
much.
welcome.
Bottom
You're
of
welcome.
I love what you do. Thank you for inspiring me to continue this mission and this journey. And I'm gonna close out the show, but I'm gonna just put you backstage for a minute. Thanks, Dave.
Okay. No problems. Bye, everybody.
Shout out to you, Miss Roxanne, for
You
the work
got it.
you're doing. That's my father. Thank you, Dad, for watching. Okay, so guys, thank you all so much again for watching Transplant Talk with Nashana. I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas, a safe holiday, and a Happy New Year. Hopefully, I'll be back next Tuesday. If not, thank you all again for watching. Become an organ donor. Help save lives. Become a lifesaver. Until next time, God bless you all. Good night.